99% of supplements are complete garbage. Companies lie, the labels are wrong, and most of what you're taking doesn't even help you. But there are a few that actually do work. Watch till the end and I'll break each of them down for you one by one. In 2011, the FDA did a survey of all supplement companies, and 73% of them that were inspected failed to adhere to the regulations that were put in place. There was the wrong amounts in, there was inconsistencies in the tablets, there was under measuring, all of this stuff. And if you think it's changed today, you're completely wrong. Let's say you've got one tablet of vitamin D3 and it says it's got 1000 IUs, which is the unit of measurement. One tablet from that pot could have 400 IUs and another one could have 1300 IUs, and they're from the same pot, the same container that you bought. They don't follow regulations because they just make up a massive batch of this stuff, and there's inconsistencies in the amount in each pill. The absorption rate is shocking, and they'll sell it to you as a dream. Supplements do not absorb like nutrients from food. Because if you think about it, this tiny little pill, they're normally about that big, they're absolutely tiny. Whereas you've got an apple, or an egg, let's say, stay on the vitamin D thing. You've got an egg. Eggs are, half decent size. When that's going through your body, it'll go through your body a lot slower because there's more mass to it. There's more to break down. It's a lot more complex than just some beef gelatin soft gel with a bit of vitamin D inside. Basically, all the vitamins and minerals and all the good stuff from the food that you eat, all the stuff you want, is absorbed from your lower intestine, and then it just comes straight out. So while it's passing through your lower intestine, the longer it's in your lower intestine for, the more nutrients you gain from it. So if it's passing through really quickly, because it's really small and there's not much to it, you're not going to be absorbing much of the vitamins from it. Whereas if you've got food which is a lot more complex, a lot harder to break down, then it'll just be absorbed so much better, and the quality of it will be so much higher because of how long it takes to pass through. You cannot fix a shit diet with supplements. So many people will still be out there, eating McDonald's, and they'll be taking fish oils, they'll be having their vitamin D3, they'll be taking their multivitamins, they'll be supplementing ashwagandha. You cannot fix a shit diet with supplements. 95% of your diet and nutrition is the food you eat. So why are you trying to optimize this tiny 5%, this little smidge, 5% of your supplements is not going to benefit you if your 95% of your diet is shit? It's like the cherry on top. You got some really ugly, disgusting tasting cake with dodgy icing, it's green and brown. Oh, but it'll be fine if we put a really nice, you spend hours picking out this cherry, make sure it's the perfect one, it's got a nice little stem on it, pop that on. Oh, that looks nice, doesn't it? No. So what supplements should you be taking if most of them are complete shit? Vitamin D. I know I just slated it, but it's just an example. Vitamin D is actually one of the only supplements I take because of the fact that you think back thousands, hundreds of thousands of years ago, our cavemen ancestors didn't have roofs over their heads. You know, they had tiny huts with dodgy thatch roofs that they would go in just to sleep. They wouldn't be in there all day, lazing about watching TV. You know, if they wanted food, they went out and they hunted for it all day, every day, for a week, until they finally captured the gazelle that they were hunting. And then their tribe could eat. So you're spending probably 70% of your day indoors, probably even more. The eyes and your skin are not absorbing the vitamin D at all, which means you're also getting lower testosterone, because the pathway that activates when you see sunlight and when your skin is absorbing the sunlight is actually what triggers testosterone production. So not only are you not getting any vitamin D, you're stunting your testosterone production, all because you won't go outside. You know, most people are stuck inside working their jobs for 8, 9, 10 hours a day. You're in an office, you're in fast food chain, a shop. Then you leave work at 5 p.m. to go home. You know, you are, at most, the days that you're working, probably seeing half an hour of sunlight a day. And seeing it through glass or doesn't work. You know. So vitamin D, preferably vitamin D3, because it's the most potent and it's what you're missing, is what you want to be supplementing. You want to be getting it from a really high quality source though. Not just that shit you find on MyProtein or something. Some of the stuff from MyProtein, the supplements, they're good because you can't really get low quality like the thing I'm about to talk about next. But vitamin D is something you should be getting from a high quality source. I'll go through that at the end. Caffeine. Most people will drink a cup of coffee every single day as soon as they wake up. You should be taking caffeine 2 to 3 times a week maximum. And this is only when you're going to be performing a hard physical task. Because caffeine loses its effectiveness. You know, over time, if you have caffeine every single day, you know, people say, oh, I can't wake up without a cup of coffee. You feel shit without it because your body becomes so dependent on that artificial kickstart of your day. You know, when you wake up, you should not be having caffeine for the first 2 hours that you're awake. It's not normal. It's become so normal nowadays to wake up straight away, have a fucking double scoop of the instant coffee, get it down you. Oh, I'm awake now. And you see people so groggy when they don't have their caffeine. But I think caffeine, in my opinion, which is, you know, I've had caffeine tablets. I've got you know, in my drawer next to me. I think that they're a great supplementation to be used in certain cases. If you're going for a PR at work, in the gym, and you're going to be doing a really hard lifting day, say you're going really heavy load on legs, then boom, caffeine. There's nothing wrong with that. 30 to 60 minutes before a workout, you'll probably be lifting a lot more. Now, speaking about the gym, creatine. This is, you know, non-negotiable. You should be supplementing creatine. It is absolutely brilliant, incredible substance. To be perfectly honest, it doesn't really matter where you get it from, as long as it's creatine monohydrate. It does not matter, because you see these like 60 quid bags of creatine and they're, you know, all better absorption rate. All creatine absorbs the same. There may be a slight benefit to having, you know, one that's double the price, but to be perfectly honest, there's not much difference. There's been thousands of studies done. It's proven to increase strength and muscle mass, and you can get it from your diet in beef, but you do not get anywhere near the amount that you will need. You would need to eat like kilograms of beef to be able to get enough amount of creatine. protein shakes. Now, I actually didn't think of these until I talked to my girlfriend about it. I didn't think of these as a supplement. You know, they're just a part of your diet. You know, it's just something that you have. But then I realised that normal people don't actually drink protein shakes, which is a crazy revelation to me. They are full of sweeteners, and most of them are full of shitty chemicals. I do agree. And it's not the greatest. But for the average person, the average gym goer, let's say, or person on self-improvement, you do struggle to get your protein in. You know, as much as you can eat eggs and beef and chicken and all of that, it is still a struggle to get plus 100 grams of protein a day. So I think 1 or 2 protein shakes throughout the day is not going to be the worst thing that you can do for your body. You know, it is an easy solution, especially if you're on the move, you don't have time to cook a meal. I do think the protein shakes are an exemplary supplement. Drink some water. It's good for you. Testosterone. Testosterone is an ecdysteroid. And I know that's just flagging your brain. Oops, steroid? You know, maybe if your brain was drifting a little bit, you've just locked back in. Ecdysteroids do not act as, you know, some steroids mimic testosterone. Ecdysteroids do not mimic testosterone at all. They just activate the pathway. And there's been loads of studies shown that it can vastly, significantly, I've got down, increase muscle mass. That was quoted directly from a paper. Significant increase in muscle mass. You know, I've literally got a pot via testosterone. It is brilliant stuff. Obviously, again, from a high quality source. If you're spending anything less than £30-40, probably about $50 on it, it's probably shit. 1 capsule a day and you will feel so much stronger, so much better. It's not an anabolic steroid, so you'll still be natural if you take it. And it's perfectly legal. It is an incredible supplement. Tongkat Ali. Now, I actually haven't taken this one, but I have just ordered some because I've been doing a lot of research on it. Obviously, it's really popular in the gym space, the self-improvement space. So in a future video, I may give, you know, a different opinion on it once I've actually taken it and tried it. But from my research, I can see that it increases testosterone. The way it does this is by reducing the amount of testosterone that gets converted into estrogen. Because that's how your body creates estrogen. The higher your testosterone levels, the higher estrogen levels will be. But if you take an aromatase uptake inhibitor, which inhibits the uptake of aromatase, which basically, this is your testosterone, this is your estrogen, what normally happens is testosterone gets converted, so they'll both go down. But it stops the amount that's converted, so your estrogen levels will go down. All of these supplements that I've listed need to be purchased from a high quality source. Other than the caffeine and the creatine, it doesn't really matter. My protein is probably the best go-to because they're the cheapest, they're the best. On my protein, just type in pure caffeine and it'll come up with the tablets. They are good. The source that I've been looking at is britishsupplements.net. If you just take a look at that website, then, you know, if you're in America or any other country outside the UK, they probably don't ship to you. But if you just take a look at that website and try and find something like that for your country, then you'll be golden, you know. Lots of good reviews, but not just the good reviews, making sure they don't add fillers and caking agents and stuff. The stuff that they add in there that's really bad for you. But, you know, like I said earlier, even supplements cannot save a shit diet. You know, if your nutrition isn't on point, then you're going to be wasting your time. Fix your diet first. I've literally just made a video on diet and the best diet for muscle growth and fat loss. This is your next step. Check it out on the end screen. Have a hard day and a great week. Mwah.